Hello and welcome to the Animation Kimmunication podcast, your source for discussion about animation, film, fandom, and more. So please join your host, I Love Kim Possible a Lot, or KP, and Lauren Kizich, the Abbey Roadie, for today's discussion. If you like what you hear, please remember to support by giving a like, a follow, as well as subscribing to the main I Love Kim Possible a Lot channel on YouTube. Spread the word and keep being a part of a great community. This episode contains some mild adult language.
Hi everyone, welcome to this animation episode savvy thing of Animation Kimmunication. I'm KP, your host lady person. With me is my co-host other person, Lauren. Say hi, Lauren.
Yes, hello, Abbey Roadie here. So, yeah, we got an exciting podcast today. I'm excited. You excited?
Yeah, I'm excited as I can be for 10:30 p.m. at night, but you know, that's why I have caffeine.
I was gonna say, drink a Red Bull.
Red Bull, they give you wings. We're not sponsored by Red Bull. It's not important. Anyway, okay, Lauren, tell me the news. What's been happening since the last time we did this, like several days ago? But it's a week apart. But you don't know that.
Well, I was gonna say, I know we kind of brought up Scoob in the last podcast, but now we can say, now that some time has passed, that more and more reviews have come around. Some people think it's okay, but it seems to be doing incredibly well on VOD. So much so that I was even seeing articles being posted saying, why don't kids' movies just be moved to VOD permanently? And I'm like, no.
How about let's not do that? I'm just getting flashbacks to the Disney direct-to-video sequels where it just
don't need that. Nope, don't like that. And then, otherwise, we did have some sneak peek images surface on the interwebs. We had images surface from Phineas and Ferb the movie, Candace Against the Universe, which is slated for a summer 2020 release, which is right around the corner. And based on the screenshots that were released, it looks like nothing has changed in the show style or in the animation style. The designs haven't changed, so it's almost like no time has passed, which is a good thing, especially with Phineas and Ferb. You kind of can't change that. So, and especially with Swampy and Dan Povenmire being involved, you can't really change anything like that. You can't fix what's broken. Or you can't fix broken. You can't fix what's not broken. Scratch my joke. Scratch it.
It's we're all tired. You know, you worked all day today, and I slept, so it's fine.
Yeah. So editor team, here's where my joke actually is. You can't fix what's not broken. There you go.
You did it.
And then a huge bit of news for all the Netflix addicts, which includes myself. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the entire series, dropped on Netflix. I believe it was, as of this recording, yesterday, if not 2 days ago. It was pretty recent. But let's just say the internet kind of exploded, like, woo, we get to have our binge fest for Airbender now. And if there's any time to binge the series, it's definitely now, people. If you haven't given it a chance, definitely give it a watch.
What are you doing listening to an animation podcast and haven't watched Avatar?
What are you doing listening to stuff about cartoons when you should be watching cartoons right now?
Do both. Multitask, it's fine. As long as we get the views, it's fine, right?
Yeah. Fair point. But otherwise, there really isn't other animation news, but there is a little bit of Disney news. I guess you could say that Disney World is trying to open back up, or at least they're test running it, and they did a press day, I believe, today, which is Wednesday, to date this, but they were testing opening up Disney Springs, which, for those not in the know, is basically it's an outdoor shopping center and got lots of restaurants, got lots of shops, all that good stuff.
It's like Downtown Disney, right? But like the Orlando version.
Yeah, and I was going to say also, for those who don't live in California, it's like Downtown Disney, which is another place to shop and eat outside the park. But yeah, so they're test running that in the middle of this whole coronavirus lockdown that they're trying to test out to see how social distancing and proper care and sanitation guidelines can work, and making sure everybody stays healthy and 6 feet apart and all that stuff. So yeah, they're test running that right now. They had a press day with limited amount of people doing like major crowd control, so we'll see what happens. But Florida has a lot more space to basically test that versus California, which is a little bit more compact on the on the theme park side.
Yeah, just on the everything side. But my favorite thing was just like they're gonna put warnings up that just like serious illness or death may occur if you go to Disney World, like enter at your own risk. And I'm just like, oof. Like, I get that they don't want accountability, but at the same time, it's just like you're really gonna like don't risk death just to go to Disney World. It will be there when like it's not going anywhere. But if you really want to like stay safe, I'm sure they'll have Mickey Mouse face masks for sale. I imagine that would be something that they would do just to be like, lol, you can die in Disney style. So, is there any? I was gonna go ahead.
Yeah, no. I was saying you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna be like, is there any, now that Avatar, the original series, is on Netflix, is there any updates on the live action thing that they're doing that isn't the Shyamalan movie, but like a
not to my knowledge, and not that I have seen in more recent days. Just as far as I know, they have Avatar, and I believe Korra maybe also got dropped that on Netflix. I don't recall, but I do know Avatar is absolutely
okay
on there.
Yeah.
So unless they're either slating Korra to join it on Netflix, or it's already there. I could check while I'm recording this, but
it's fine. Yeah, it's big animation news with when my friends who aren't into animation are watching it and texting me about it. So they're just like, have you watched Avatar? And I'm like, I'm avatared out, so I'm good. So I've seen the series like probably like 3 times at this point, so I don't need to watch it again. So
yeah,
it's
otherwise, fine. Otherwise I don't see any other headlines here. We'll wait in the next couple days and see what happens. You never know. It's only midweek at this point, so
yeah, we'll figure it out. It's fine. But
thank you for joining us.
So we have 2 special guests, both YouTube Storytime animators. Their stuff is cool. Go check them out. They'll probably be plugging themselves. So Laddi, why don't you go first? Who are you, Laddi? What do you do on the internet?
Hi, I'm Laddi. I do animations on the internet. They're like a little series. It's called Laddi Explains, and I just get in front of a mic and I explain a thing and then I animate it. So, yeah.
Simple enough. And what about you, Elle? What do you do on the internet?
Hi guys, I'm Elle. I make storytime animation videos on my YouTube channel, Elle Cartoons, and I kind of take like I try to find funny stories from my life and exaggerate it a little bit and just kind of tell a funny story for whoever is bored and wants to listen and watch. Worst explanation ever.
Every time I see your cartoons, I was gonna make a meme about this like sometime, but they remind me of the Pajama Sam games, the style. So just something.
Oh my God.
Currently, what is it? Pajama what? I'm so out of
Pajama Sam.
All right. Oh, that sounds familiar.
Kids games from the 90s and the early 2000s. Yeah.
So
I don't know who this is, but this is adorable.
Yeah, so the same similar eye and just facial structure. So when I saw him, just like, oh my god, it's like girl Pajama Sam, but like badass. I like it.
This is great reference.
That was my comparison.
Well, thanks for telling me about this because there's some really good reference on here for my character.
Yeah, and he's super cute. And go all the Pajama Sam games are available on Steam if you want to go buy them, I guess.
They're actually really fun to revisit after, like for at least us nostalgic folk that grew up with them. They're fun to play, and even then, they're good to delve into. There's a lot of clever gameplay and game construct in there. So,
my favorite gag is when we can have a whole podcast about like humongous entertainment because I know it very well. But I'll just before we go into the actual important stuff, my favorite gag is there's a scene where the talking boat is explaining geysers to Pajama Sam, and he's going on a tangent for like 10 minutes. And as he's talking, like, Sam is physically falling asleep as he's talking. And then, like, on the bottom it says, like, you can skip this if you want to, children. We know you're bored. So, but it goes into, like, the meticulous of, like, how water rises and science shit. I don't know.
I love how they're, like, understanding that children have ADD and we can't focus on boring shit. I'm like,
we're sorry. The bright colors are away right now. Anyway, so we're gonna break down and talk about indie animation on the YouTube. So, I guess Lauren and I can jump back and forth. I guess I'll just start. This is kind of off the cuff, but how did you guys meet each other? Because I know we all met because I was at a mixer with Laddi, and then I was like, hey, I'm going to this Phoenix convention thing, if you want to come. And then she's like, do you have any friends that, like, want to come because they'll give you a table, I guess? And she's like, I found one because everyone else wants to go to VidCon. And I'm just like, I do not blame them. So.
Well, I'll say, 2 years ago now, I found out about the storytime animation community. Just from, being on YouTube or whatever. And Laddi was one of the first people that I found that I actually just literally died laughing at her stuff. Like, no, like, I was so, like, you are the funniest. I swear to God, like, you're the funniest freaking YouTuber. Like, seriously, like, if you haven't seen, like, Laddi's videos, for who's ever listening, you have to check them out. So when I saw her at VidCon, I was like, that's freaking Laddi, and you were like, actually, Laddi, you were the first person, like, I was comfortable going up, because I was, like, so nervous or awkward and stuff, and I was like, I don't give a shit, this is Laddi, and then I basically...
This is the Laddi.
I was like, because I recognized her voice right away, and she looks like her little cartoon character, so I'm like, I was, like, really excited to meet Laddi, and, you're so funny, dude, and I pretty much forced her to do a collab with me, and that's basically, it was all history for me. Dude, you're so funny. It's like, you're the most underrated YouTuber ever, dude. You're hilarious.
Oh, thank you. I found out on Twitter, someone, it was, like, a little bit before VidCon, and Elle had, like, started making, like, her videos and stuff, and I was like, oh, these are cool, and then, like, I think it was back when you had, like, 10,000 subscribers, and I tweeted at you, I was like, your videos are cool, something like that, and then you were like, what, you're so funny.
Oh, did you?
And so,
I totally forgot about that.
And then we met later at VidCon, like, while we were, like, waiting, I guess, we just, like, got our tickets and stuff, and then the convention, and that's when we met, and it was like, oh, it's Elle.
Yeah, I remember I met you, like, right when I got to, like, California. It was, like, the first day. It was, like, one of the first days. So, yeah.
And the collab was fun. I got to improvise a lot, and I really liked that.
Do you want to explain what the collab was for people who might not know?
I made a video on my YouTube channel called My Annoying Roommate or something like that. And I like to, like, my videos, I try to make them, I was very inspired by, like, Nickelodeon's 90s cartoons and stuff, so, like, I try to make episodes out of my videos instead of it being, like, a story. I almost just try to make, like, an episode. I don't know how to explain it. But Laddi was playing the character of, like, My Annoying Roommate, and, I remember, like, there's some comments on there that's like, was Laddi actually your roommate? I'm like, don't people like realize that she's playing the part of my roommate? Like, why would I forget how young people, like, there's a lot of young people that really believed Laddie was my actual roommate. So I guess, yeah, I had to, like, clarify, like, guys, Laddie wasn't my freaking roommate. She was the freaking YouTuber.
I get comments on my channel being like, I like Elle better, you're so annoying. And I'm
That's
like, oh!
that's horrible. Like,
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
still get, it's really died down, but I still get, like, sometimes I'll get a comment be like, you're Elle's roommate. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
and I'm like, I'm so sorry that happened. Like, I never.
It's okay. It's you two.
Yeah, it's like, well, obviously those are really, really young kids. Like that, they literally think that cartoon character is my roommate. So, so I'm really sorry about that. And so now I learned that you have to clarify these things. These things need to be clarified. Because like people were mad at you for being my annoying roommate. Like it's a cartoon, you guys. It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's good.
Anyway, you gotta just
Laddi,
watch it. It's hard to explain.
If you need merch ideas, you can just get a t-shirt that says not Elle's roommate or something like that.
Yes.
That'd be funny.
Okay, there's my bad idea. But anyway, what is the first question, Lauren? Do you want to ask co-host Lauren, because technically there's two Laurens now.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's a good name.
It's like waves from the corner of the room. Hi. But yeah, I got a bunch of questions. But to start us off, how did you both get your start in animation, or at least in indie animation on the internet?
I started in I had just graduated high school. It was 2016. I had always wanted to tap into animation. I just didn't really know where to start. And the whole storytime animation thing was still pretty new, I think. So I found the Odd Ones Out's channel, Jade Animations, and I was like, what? These are cool. I could probably do that, maybe. So I made a video about, I had just turned 18. I made a video about how turning 18 is stupid. And it's just it's like a 30-second skit. It's so dumb. But after that, I I met a bunch of other animators who were just starting out like me, and eventually the community of storytime people just kind of got bigger and bigger, and I kind of I don't really do story times anymore. I do my Laddi Explains thing because I think that's more fun. But it's really cool to see how meeting everybody. I met Elle, and just the community is growing a lot, and it's heck yeah, dude, do it.
Look at all the friends I made! Yay!
Look at all the friends.
All the storytellers all gathered together around the digital campfire.
How many story timers does it take to change a light bulb?
At least 10.
What about you, Elle? How did you get your start? I know you've talked about it before, but reiterate for the people who have short attention spans.
Get my start in the storytime community,
or just general animation.
I always loved cartoons. I was obsessed with Nickelodeon. I have a video that's probably the most embarrassing thing on the freaking planet. It's my Draw My Life Part 2, where I explain my passion for Nickelodeon. It's really embarrassing. And there's a part in it where I literally cry because I didn't get the internship. Anyway, don't watch it. But I'm obsessed with cartoons and creating stories and worlds, and I just freaking love it so much. So I went to school for animation after high school. I went to a community college called Brookdale in New Jersey, where I live now, for digital animation. And then after community college, I moved to California to go to school at an art college there. And after applying a million times, I finally got an internship at Nickelodeon. And then after that, I got an internship at Cartoon Network, because now I don't know what happened, but they're okay, if you worked at Nickelodeon, then you're probably cool.
You're good enough.
Yeah. It was I went years of getting rejected from internships, and I just like worked really hard to learn about resumes. I worked really hard to like learn about the interview process and how you should act during an interview and yada yada whatever. And then I got an internship. Oh no, I got a gig at DreamWorks when I was in LA, and I started just kind of making a lot of connections out there. And I got really involved with the animation community when I was out there. And then I got a job after I graduated from college in New York at Titmouse Inc. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but it's an in-house animation studio. And there's one in New York, there's one in LA, and there's one in Canada. So I got a job there as a PA because my drawing skills, like I'm not a great artist to be honest with you, like at all. I have a passion for like storytelling and creating like character development and stuff, like developing characters and creating personalities and
more like on the writing side, right?
Definitely like on the writing side, but my passion is like I don't know if there's like a proper word for it, but I just love creating like relationships between characters and developing character personalities and stuff like that. Like that's just so fun for me. So my drawing skills kind of suffer because I just don't care enough about like construction. Like I wish I was good at drawing. I just don't feel like, dedicating my time to it. So I'm not very good at drawing. I couldn't get an art job at Titmouse, but they hired me as a PA. And then eventually I got into production coordinating, and then I started, just getting, really kind of not sick of production because I love it, but like my dream is to create. So at Titmouse, I actually ended up finding the animation community, and I said to someone, I'm quitting and I'm going to try and be one of these people. And it worked, and it actually worked somehow. So that's kind of my little story about my animation time.
Cool.
That sounds
you got a
scary.
Little taste of a bunch of like awesome studios. That's I mean, in such a short amount of time. That's awesome that you had like all that experience there.
It was. I wouldn't trade like I lived in California for 3 years, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like if anyone like is out there that really, really wants to experience more in the animation industry, like try to somehow live in LA, like for a little while or something, because you really get to like experience things you can't in New Jersey. Like in New Jersey, there's just like, nothing. We have New York, but there's nothing like the animation studios out in LA. And like I got toured at Disney and stuff like that. There's so much more out in LA. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm stuck outside of LA because of all this coronavirus BS stuff. But Lauren is local, and I'm just like, Lauren, I miss Disneyland. Can we go to Disneyland when it opens again? And she's like, sure, Rachel, whatever will make you happy. And I'm like, so, but yeah,
go camp out in that line at Rise of the Resistance? We'll go camp out in that line at Rise of the Resistance. We'll have a donut. We'll have a churro.
I just want a turkey leg. That's all I want. But yeah, I remember when I was like in high school, I was kind of like on auto mode in high school and college, and just like I'm gonna move out of this town and go to California and be with my people in the animation like community. So I definitely miss it. Do you miss it, Elle?
I miss the opportunities out there. In terms of living out there, it was just such a lonely life because everyone I'm close to lives in New Jersey because that's where I grew up, or New York. So when I think of LA, I just think of loneliness. but like besides like feeling lonely, like but like it's like I was I didn't have family and I didn't have a lot of friends, but I had a ton of connections and like industry friends. And we would talk about things, like I would have these kinds of conversations like about cartoons and stuff like that. Conversations I could never have in New Jersey with my New Jersey friends because my friends here don't really care about animation and cartoons. I can't find friends like the ones I found in LA. So like I love and miss LA for certain reasons, and I love and love my hometown for certain reasons. But if I had to live anywhere, it'd be like where my family is, just because it's so like lonely not living, I don't know, near my Italian family. Good cooking, lots of meatballs over here.
Yeah, everyone always says the first year that you move to LA, it's very lonely and sad. And but if you get through the first year, quote unquote, it gets better, quote unquote, which I have found to be true.
Yeah, I agree with that. It definitely got better after the first year.
Yeah,
and to be fair, coming from a musical theater enthusiast, you're closer to Broadway than I am. So.
Oh, like what? New York, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Hey, look, if you ever want to hang out at my house, I just moved into a house, and we have a guest room, and you're more than welcome to chill here.
Oh,
So
sweet, thanks.
I'm still
we're
super far from. I'm like an hour and a half away from New York still, but it's still closer than you.
Yeah, for you guys who don't know, Lauren's a very hardcore Beetlejuice the musical fan, so she will just, like, half of the time, she's just sending me memes. Like, even now, when we were starting, she just showed
I'm,
me
like, looking at it right now.
now.
That's awesome.
It's really good, guys, and it deserves better.
When we went to Universal Studios Hollywood, they had a Beetlejuice actor around, and, like, as soon as Lauren, like, saw him or heard that he was there, we had to, like, run down and, like, glump him twice.
Oh my god.
True story, I literally tackled him.
She was very determined. I was just like, okay, I get it. I'm not particularly into Beetlejuice, but, I get what it's like to be in that position, so.
I wish I had a video of you tackling him.
There's pictures, there's selfies we do have, so
we have the proof. Okay, what's the next question? I'm glad everyone's chilling so well.
Well, where did you each get the inspiration for each of your channels? Like, with sharing your life stories and then getting to explanation videos. Like, how did you find your voice?
Who wants to go first?
I mean, I started Storytime because I wanted a way to, like, a reason to, like, try animation, because I wanted to do animation because I loved cartoons all my life, but, like, I didn't know where to start, so doing Storytimes, like, gave me the like, I was like, oh, I could do that, that'll introduce me to making animations, and then from there, I'm majoring in animation in college right now, so it's just like,
yeah. So, like, what kind of cartoons did you like when you were a kid, I guess?
So, My Little Pony.
You were an OG.
What else? SpongeBob, Phineas and Ferb. Frick, I can't think of, like, a whole bunch right now.
Can I tell an adorable Laddi story?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, like, when I was at the mixer that Hannah Hoffman and Echo hosted in Anaheim during VidCon. I didn't go to VidCon that year, which was a mistake, but I went there, and I was, like, stupidly giving my business card to people. I'm like, hey, I'm this person on the internet with this very convoluted username, like, hey. And then I gave it to Laddi, and she's like, I know you from the ponies. And I'm like, oh, I have one person. And then when we started talking, she's like, here's my DeviantArt when I like, I'm still watching you on DeviantArt. And I'm just like, oh my god, this small bean, she's so adorable, and all she does is laugh. Can I keep her, Mom?
When you gave me your business card, I was internally, like, freaking out a little bit, because I was like, what?
She's
Wait,
not
are you famous
horse.
on DeviantArt or something? What, are you famous on DeviantArt?
Because I just came up to you because I liked your dress, and I was like, I like her dress. We're at, like, a networking thing. I'm gonna go talk to her. And, like, we had a nice conversation, and then you were like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm giving out my business cards. And I was like,
And I still have, for those who, like, ever pick up my business cards, like, at a convention or something, I still have the horse on the back, just in case, like, just for the OG people. So, you know, still professional horse. Poor Elle has, like, no idea.
I have no freaking idea what you're talking about. Are you, this, like, famous horse person that I don't know about?
So, I'm doing, like, general, like, video essay and animation still content right now, but before that, like, I started my YouTube channel with, My Little Pony, like, reviews and shit, so I would have, instead of, like, a human version of me talking, like I do now, I have a horse, so I'd, like, have me as a horse talking about the horse episode. So, most people will recognize horse me versus human me because she's just been around longer.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Wait, so Laddi, you went up to her to compliment her dress and she gives you her business card and that's how you recognize her? That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's the horse.
Small world.
Dude, I was at that networking thing too, and I didn't know that you existed, and I wish I did, or I would have complimented your dress too.
It's okay, we're friends now, so.
Yeah.
Never too late to give the compliment.
I like your dress.
Joke's on you, I'm not wearing a dress now.
Damn it.
My dress isn't quarantined.
I'm actually wearing a dress right now. What are you talking about? I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
Am I wearing a dress or just no pants?
Whoa.
I could be wearing a dress. You can't prove that I'm not. So.
I've been in the same pajamas for like 3 days, so I'm not.
Yeah, I'm like a t-shirt, this old t-shirt and some shorts.
So, Elle, what are your favorite Nickelodeon cartoons that like really push you to start like, I want to do this as for a living kind of thing?
Oh my god, I'm gonna like cry. Okay. I mean, obviously, like, and please, like, shut me up if I'm going too much. But obviously, like, we are all very inspired. I mean, I'm 29. I don't know how old you guys are, but I guess I've been around longer. So, or I don't know. I feel like, is anyone my age or no? Are you guys younger?
Lauren and I are both 27, so we're around your age.
I'm the baby.
Taboo.
But I think we're all at the age where we can say Rugrats was the shit, right?
This is great.
Rugrats like was heavily inspired me. Hey Arnold heavily inspired me. That's another great thing about living in LA. All those people are there. I met the creator and you talked to Steven Silver recently on a podcast you guys did. I met him out there. I met the creator of Hey Arnold out there. Like, you can't do things like that in New Jersey. Like, oh my god. But anyway, Hey Arnold was like one of the biggest Rugrats. You know, all those like relatable like 90s shows. But the one that hit like, I don't know, really hit me for some reason was Danny Phantom. When I was like, yo, fucking Danny Phantom. Like, I was 15 at that point. So you'd think I was like a child or something that's like, I love cartoons. Like, I was a full-blown teenager and I saw Danny Phantom. Now here's what like made me say like, I want to work at Nickelodeon and I want to do cartoons for the rest of my life. Like, when I saw Danny Phantom, it was a TV movie. It was called like, I forgot. It was
The Ultimate Enemy, right?
Yes. And that was so fucking epic. Like, have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Holy
shit.
It's
been a long time, but yeah.
So,
Lottie, have you seen a Danny Phantom?
I've like seen the show Danny Phantom. I haven't seen that movie or whatever.
Okay, it's a good movie. It's dramatic, I guess.
It's not like the show is like not even that great. It's not a great show. Like, it's Danny Phantom's like, it's just a generic like cartoon, like, but that movie was so fucking good. And also at this point, because like I said, my Jersey friends, like, no one I knew like loved cartoons like I did. So I didn't even know what anime was when I was 15.
Oh.
Yeah. No one told me so I never even seen anime before. So Danny Phantom, the Ultimate Enemy, was like probably the most epic cartoon I've ever seen at that point. I didn't know what any anime was or anything. So when I saw that, I'm not kidding, like I was obsessed. I was just drawing Danny Phantom fan art. I was obsessed over cartoons. I was creating my own cartoons. Like I was obsessed with cartoons after that. And then I started like finding more things like anime, and then I found Naruto and I became sickly obsessed with Naruto. And then oh god, the list just kind of goes on, but that show really like did it for me for some reason.
Yeah, it's always that one show I think that like gets the gears going a little bit for me, like Kim Possible. Yeah, that's obvious. But like I'll say a tidbit because I don't want to undermine the conversation too much, but Lauren actually which works with Butch every once in a while in work. So she's what? He sends you Fairly Odd Parents memes randomly, right?
Yeah, it'll literally be in a text conversation and be like, okay, it's like, enjoy your weekend. Thanks, you too. And then he follows that up with like a Fairly Odd Parents gif.
That's awesome. He's like a YouTuber now, right?
Yeah, he has a pretty solid following. He's like really active on all his social media accounts, like on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I mean, he's constantly cranking out stuff, so I give him props.
One part of the Nickelodeon internship when I was there was that we got to like meet Butch Hartman, like, and at the time, like, he was my like, this was like 2012. He was my like fucking hero, obviously, at the time. So
Senpai noticed me.
Yeah, like it was like in the Nickelodeon conference room, and literally I got there an hour early just to get a seat next to him. Like literally like, and I was like, oh shit, okay, the conference room table is really long. He's either going to be sitting on this end or that end. And I don't know which end he's going to be sitting on. And I took the risk and I took a seat like at one of the ends, and I freaking sat there for an hour just waiting for it to start. And then like all my intern friends came in, they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, like how long have you been sitting here? Like, I'm like, just don't worry about it, okay?
Long enough.
And Butch walked in and he sat in the side I thought he was gonna sit on, and I was too nervous to even speak. And so I said nothing the whole time. I didn't have a question for him. I was like the only one because I was just speechless. I was pretty old too. I was like 21. So like for me to be that old and like I was like starstruck, it was terrible.
Yeah, I have actually, it's funny, before working with him, I did have a serendipitous run-in with him at Nickelodeon that I did not anticipate at all. I was visiting friends, this was like 2017, early, like spring 2017. I was visiting some friends over there on the lot, and as I was leaving, this is on the new lot in the newer lot in Burbank.
Oh no, I can't hear.
Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
I can.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We'll know to edit this in post.
Wait, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can.
That was so funny, like, because your character is so cute, and it's like, oh no, I can't hear. It like disappeared.
Yeah, there's one guy in my Discord fan server who draws all these memes. So I have like of just me just doing random shit. So I probably have one for every occasion, and a lot of my friends, whether on Discord or real life, if I'm responding to someone, I'll just send them a meme instead of like having a conversation with them, and they're just like, how many do you have? And I'm just like, don't worry about it. So he actually did fan art for the podcast, so it's me being me and Lauren talking, and I just zoomed in on me because I thought the drawing was cute. So
It is.
I'll send you some more later, Lauren, just like randomly. Well, other Lauren, but regular Lauren's seen some. I think one time we were waiting for Galaxy's Rise of the Resistance, and we were waiting for like ever, and I would just start sending them to her randomly because we were waiting for like an hour because the ride broke down or something.
Yeah, we were sitting in the queue for an hour, exactly an hour, because the ride broke down and they were doing maintenance on it. And like literally the whole hour, she was sending me a bunch of different memes, and I kept telling her, I'm like, how many of these do you have?
I had like a bunch of Disneyland and Disney World specific ones too, so it was good.
I mean, she kept them coming. I give mad props. So
yeah, Riddle's a good boy. Shout out to Riddle, my man. So anyway, what's the next? Did we answer all the questions so far? Yeah.
Oh, wait, I was gonna finish my mini story. It was the Butch Hartman. I happened to meet him. Okay, so I guess I'll start again. So take two. I was on the lot visiting a friend back in 2017 in the spring, and was meeting friends on the lot there. And I happened to be walking back to the parking structure just to go back to my car. My day was over. And I see this guy just waving people off at the elevator, just like saying goodbye. And I'm like thinking, I got to get in that elevator too. And so right as he turns around, I immediately am like, I almost hit the floor with how much I stepped back. I went, "You're Butch Hartman." And like just immediately recognizing him, and it just like I was taken aback for a moment. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm Butch Hartman." And I was like, "I'm sorry." For a moment there, I just was a little starstruck. I wasn't expecting to see you here. Really nice to meet you, though. But he was super, super nice about it. And we even took a picture together, and we had like a very little conversation in the courtyard. And I do remember him saying, because I said, "Oh man, I'd love to work at Nickelodeon one day." And this was, back, not too long after I graduated. I was just like, one day I'd love to work at Nickelodeon. He's like, "Oh, well, maybe one day we'll work together."
Wow.
Little did I know.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
The
That's
plot
really cool.
thickens.
Yeah, so now we work together. We're just not at Nickelodeon, but we do work together on and off. So
You saw the new lot there? I've only seen like a picture.
yeah,
That's sick. I want to visit so bad.
yeah, they moved the time capsule from the Nickelodeon studios in Florida. They moved it to that Burbank lot too.
Oh, I forgot about
Like
that.
in the 90s when they closed that up.
Yeah.
Like 1990 or 1991.
When are they like, do they have plans to open that?
It's supposed to be in like, what was it, 2045 or something?
Oh
that.
my God.
I think.
Whoa.
We're going to be dead by then.
You'll hear about it in heaven. It's fine.
It's literally not
get a
that
tweet.
far away, actually. Like, I mean, it's far away, but like, I feel like, oh, that's like flying cars times. But it's not.
Ew, I'll be like 43.
Ew.
Maybe like... No, I'll be like 46. Oh, never mind. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think at this point, a lot of us like near the end of our 20s isn't just like we never thought we'd live this long. Now, what do we do? I don't want to be 30.
I thought 2012 was going to be the end all be all. What happened?
I used to be so scared of that. Yeah, this is what the Mayans should have predicted. Thanks a lot, Mayans. Jeez.
They got their math wrong.
Forgot to carry the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, what are your guys' most ambitious projects that you've completed, and like, do you want to talk about like the creative process for that in general? If you can remember what your most ambitious project was.
Laddie's in college, so she probably has a ton.
I guess I have a few that come to mind. So I guess the one that's really fresh in my mind. In March, my university was having a film festival that was going to be shown in like the movie theater in town. And the person who was like kind of in charge of it asked one of the animation professors if she could get like a class together or just like students to volunteer to like animate an intro for the film festival. So she talked about it in one of our classrooms, and a number of us, like maybe 8 or 9 of us, raised our hands to do it. And so what it turned into was like a multi, like it turned into a map, pretty much a multi-animator project. And so we all had like 11-second clips, right? And but my teacher just kind of stepped out. We had a month to do this, by the way. My teacher just kind of stepped out, and like I was like, well, I guess I'll just kind of do this. So I made us a Discord group. So like to keep us all in check, and everyone who did it, who was in it, joined the Discord group. And I was pretty much just like making sure we were all doing our parts. I was like, okay guys, here's all the rules to it, like pretty much like producer-y kind of things, whatever. And like we did it. It was I think I had to spend like an all-nighter on it, but we all finished our parts, and that was fine. We sent it off to her. I compiled the videos together and I sent it to her, and it worked out. And then at the film festival, they sped up all of our animations.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
What was originally like a minute and 30-second intro was like 30 seconds, and you couldn't see any of the animation that we put into it.
Oh my god.
And you want to know who is in charge of doing that? Our teacher. She was like, I'm gonna have you guys animate all this, and I'm just gonna speed it up.
That's horrible. What? You don't speed up people's animation. That's horrible.
Oh man, it was a time. We all had to we all talked to her about it. It was that was probably the most stressful thing, because it wouldn't have
bitch.
been. Yeah.
Like all the timing you put. Like,
she got
she
credit as the producer in the video too, and I was like,
oh my god.
You know what?
Wow.
I'll just let you have it. I don't care. I don't want to do this ever again. So I think that was the most, like, it wasn't hard because it was just an 11-second thing. We had a month to do it. That's fine. It was the fact that I was like, she put me in charge of it, and I was the one that was like keeping us in check, and then she did that, and then I had to like talk to her about it, and I was just like, that was a time. But it looks good. The complete stuff, I could like send it to you guys later, but
I would love to see it, dude. I would love to see it not sped up.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, I really hope it's not sped up after all that.
No, I have the like file of it all compiled normal speed. Yeah.
Do you have anything that can top that, Elle?
No. Dude, I just feel like
every time I talk about it, I get worked up because I get like,
honestly, like my blood is boiling for you right now. I'd be so pissed.
I just imagine like you crying in the corner and just like, I just wanted to animate, you know.
Because like you work hard and
really upset. I've gotten. Yeah.
You work hard like figuring out the timing and like the anticipation, and like animation is a lot of brain power, and she just speeds the whole thing up. It's horrible.
No, my favorite thing, the douchiest thing I think is like the fact that it's someone who supposedly like as a professor knows how taxing animation is, and then they just did that anyway.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't understand what she's a new professor. She's kind of new to everything. I don't know. She's not very organized. I don't know. I'm not gonna go on a rant on my professor. But
you're just gonna like start rambling off a whole bunch of like random facts about her. She has 17 cats.
So welcome to Rate My Professor, the podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next question is, do you guys have any topics that you'd like to make videos about but haven't yet? Like, without obviously spoiling upcoming videos, but like maybe something you've thought of that you just haven't gotten into, or, you know, something that is interesting to you as a artist or /animator that you're just like, that would be interesting, but then you forget about it.
I don't know. I don't know about you, Laddie, but I have a bad problem where I can't come up with an idea until my like current video's done, and then I come up with an idea. It's really bad. It's like I don't know how, like I'm kind of winging this whole YouTube thing. Like since every single day is like, I don't know. Like I guess kind of going back to the last question, I guess my like project I guess would be just my whole YouTube channel, just because like I've always been the type of person that I have like super bad ADD, like I can't focus on one thing, and I can only focus on one thing for like 3 minutes and then I have to move on to another thing. It's really bad. I'm actually seeing a doctor about it next week. But anyway.
Good for you.
Yeah, because I've been really struggling with this my whole life, and the only, not to like, now I'm getting off on a tangent. But this has nothing to do with anything. But like I just want to say, like, having, if anyone has like focus problems and stuff, don't be afraid to go to like a psychiatrist and get it checked out, because not like, I used to think, oh, everyone has focus problems, like, but they don't. Like, not everyone has focus problems. I do. So like the only way I'd be able to finish something like a project is if it was like the day before a deadline and I had enormous amounts of pressure on me, like a fire under my ass to do it, because I feel like I have a stimulation of like, ooh, like I'm on the clock, time is ticking, do, and it's like so much more, I don't know, I guess like it's more fun for me to do a video under pressure than it is for me to do it like 3 weeks early, like a responsible person. So like that's when I can focus, like laser focus, and it's really a bad quality of a YouTuber to have, because your subscribers want consistent content, and they want to know when your videos are coming out. They want to be aware of your posting schedule. And I've honestly never been able to post a video on time because of my ADD. Like I'm still posting and I'm still doing, thank God I'm doing well, but it's like my life is kind of a mess. Like every time I post a video, it's never a smooth, like I was up for 72 hours or something the night before. Like that.
Oh God.
Not, I mean, like not like,
I know that zombie feel.
You know what I mean? Like not literally 70, but like I'll have like 1 hour of sleep or something. Like that's the way I work, because I have these focus issues, and anyway, I already explained it, but I guess the fact that I am doing YouTube and I am technically putting out videos somewhat consistently is a giant accomplishment for me, because yeah, it's a struggle, and I've never tried like any kind of like Adderall or any medication for it, because I've always been scared to like try medication, but I'm going to talk to a doctor about it next week and see what they think. So I don't know why I'm talking about this. This isn't my tangent.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's cool.
Yeah. I'm super into like mental health. Everyone go to therapy.
Hell yeah.
We're all human here, so.
I had to like tell Lauren, I'm like, Lauren, you better meditate every night so you're not stressed. And she's like, okay, Mom. So. What was the question? Let me check. Lottie, have you had any videos or any topics of videos that you want to make that haven't been mated yet?
Mated.
Yeah. So like my whole like thing is like Laddie's this like character is like, oh, she doesn't really know what's going on. She's just kind of vibing. And so my whole channel, like, my Laddie Explains series is literally just me, Laddie, just sitting in front of a microphone, very poorly explaining a thing that I almost know nothing about. and that's what makes it really funny. I think that's why people like it. I don't know. I just like doing it. But one of the topics that I'd like to do that I don't know if I ever will. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. I've just been hesitant to do is like an actual like a serious video. Like I want to do Laddie Explains Social Anxiety. Because that's something that, like, that's something that's, like, that's been a big thing in my life. And, like, I've been getting a lot better at it as, like, doing the YouTube thing really got me out of my shell, and I've gotten better at talking to people, but it's still, like, there. Like, I had to, like, prep myself for the podcast, because I'm like, okay, social time. But,
We believe in you.
Thank you. I'd really like to someday talk about, like, just my experiences with social anxiety, and, like, I guess what I've done to kind of, like, not overcome it, but, you know, make it better, get better at talking to people. I don't know, but
Dude, you
I
have
just
to make
I just
that
feel like
video.
it would be. I just don't feel like
That's
it would
awesome.
fit my channel very well if I did do that, and I don't know how well received it would be, cause I don't know.
I think a lot of people would relate to it though, because a lot of people have social anxiety. So I feel like a lot of people might, resonate with it.
Oh my
Especially
god.
people that watch cartoons. They just
Yes.
like hide in their little fort and just like, ew, people are gross. I'm just gonna like, these are my new friends now, these cartoon characters. So.
Dude, it's so true. I feel like I have really bad I have bad social anxiety too. Like I was just talking to my husband about this. Like he's not like that. He doesn't mind being around people and stuff like, but when I'm around, like when I'm in social environments, I need to like mentally prepare myself beforehand, and it's not like anything personal to the people. It's just like I think with me, I overthink and overcomplicate everything, and I think that has something to do with like my ADD too. But I overthink and I overcomplicate everything, so it's not like I like if I'm talking to somebody, I'm having a conversation, I'll get a random thought like, oh, is there something in my teeth? Or does this person think I'm stupid? And like, I'll attack myself sometimes. Like when I'm...
Again. Okay, let me reconnect.
But yeah, Laddie, you need to do that video.
Yeah.
Dude,
Okay,
you can...
continue. I'm fine.
You
it's
can
fine.
probably... I know what you mean by like, you don't feel like it might not fit on your channel or whatever, but you could probably... Like, what if you made it like... half fun, like funny, and then like half like serious. You know what I mean? You couldn't still make it funny.
Yeah, and then like that might be a fun idea for the future if like people care about this episode particularly. Like we can get everyone back together and like, so let's talk about our problems so we don't feel as alone. So you can always find a different like format to address it if like your main channel isn't like the place to do it. I believe in you. Like I think showing like artists showing their vulnerabilities like is healing, because it helps you to talk about it and then helps other people be like, it's not just me who has that problem. Someone I look up to and admire and is like the best person ever is like can talk about it too. Oh my god, I feel like we relate now. I relate to you. So
Yeah, because it's like, it's a reminder that we're all people, and it's like even like the people that follow YouTubers every day and YouTube personalities and see them or hear their voices every day. Sometimes it's like it's good to have that grounding of like, yeah, you're a person, a normal person just like me, and I'm like you. You're just like me, I'm just like you. Barbie and the Princess and the Pauper.
I was just like, what is that from? I know it. I'm just like...
I just remember the memes for that for a while. It was pretty freaking hilarious.
No, it made me mad because they were just like, we're so alike, and I'm like, but your hair is different, so that you're not really.
They just did hue shift on her hair.
Anyway, you guys can go watch Barbie, the Princess and the Pauper somewhere. It's not too horrible.
This podcast was sponsored by Mattel.
Anyway, did you have any more to add, Lottie, before we got on our tangent of badness?
Yeah, I appreciate the
okay.
on my
Yeah, okay, cool. So I know we're rounding up on an hour before everyone has to disappear. But my last question is one that Lauren didn't write down, but for the young peoples, the people that watch you guys, the people that watch us, obviously there's a lot of young children's who watch the podcast who are like, how does animate? So what is your guys' general advice for someone who wants to do either storytelling animation or just animation on YouTube or just animation in general? Like, do you have any sage advice for that?
You can go first, Lad.
Okay. So I think the hardest part is just kind of starting, especially if you're a kid. There are very few storytime animators that are under 16, 17, but there are some, and they actually, one of them I can think of is Brody Animates, and I think he has more subscribers than I do, and he's 15, 16, and he's doing really well, and he's funny, so it's not impossible, especially as a young person, to be a storytime person, but I think, one of the more important things to focus on is just kind of finding something that you like to do. If it's story time, find why you like it. Maybe it's oh, I like telling stories, or oh, I like drawing, and just kind of work on that. And don't let numbers kind of discourage you, because that's if you're gonna go into YouTube with the intention of becoming famous, or quote famous or whatever, it's gonna be really discouraging when the numbers don't, skyrocket as much as you'd hope they would. If anything, it's I made this thing, I completed this all by myself, and that's more than a lot of people can say. So I'm proud of that, and I'm just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are I want to be animators and finish this thing, and they're okay, and then they never do. So I think that's part of the point is you gotta just do it, not to quote Shia LaBeouf, but I think that that shows who you are as a person, that you can finish it instead of just having this idea, because everyone has ideas. But
yeah.
What about you, Elle? Any advice to the young childs?
I can remember when I was 15, 16, when I was getting into animation, like I told you guys earlier, I didn't know where to start. I didn't have any friends that liked animation, so I had to kind of learn all about it on my own, and it was really discouraging. Back then, I don't even think there was really any YouTube or anything. So right now, the good news is there's so much information on the internet that you really can do it. First things first, just know that you can do it. It doesn't matter how old you are. You have all of the tools at your fingertips right now. You don't have to wait until college like I had to kind of do. You have YouTube and you have Google and you're set. So just get comfortable with researching on the internet for all the knowledge that you need. And the other thing is, if you're a lazy person, if you're super lazy, try and learn how to unlazy yourself a little bit, because animating is really tedious, and drawing and stuff, it's so tedious, and it could be really boring. It really can, drawing, learning how to draw for me is boring. That's why I'm not a really great artist. So I'm more into the storytelling aspect, but just understand that animating is very tedious. So my advice for anyone that's first starting to get into animation and doesn't know where to begin, just try and start with the 12 principles of animation. Go on YouTube, type in what are the 12 principles of animation. Once you know the 12 principles, you're going to get a lot more confident in your animation abilities. So just study the 12 principles and take each principle step by step. I think the first one's squash and stretch or whatever, master that and then move on to the next one. Just set really small goals and hit those goals, and don't move on until you master it. And eventually you're going to be damn, I am freaking getting good at this. And just remember, the more you build your confidence, the more you're going to accomplish, because you're going to want to do it once you're confident. I don't know what I'm saying. Is that good?
We believe in you, essentially.
I do. I mean, I believe in anyone that has the internet. Seriously, all of the information is there for you. You just got to stop being lazy and do it. And when I say that, I'm talking to myself.
I
Don't
feel
worry.
added right now.
But yeah, if you need, I'll just do a quick plug. If you need a breakdown about like how animation works or like how digital programs work, Lauren and I, our last episode, because words are hard, it's how to art, and that can help you if you need like, where do I start? And I'm just like, let me tell you how to do proportions correctly. Jesus Christ. So anyway.
How to Photoshop 101. Step 1, name your layers.
Step 1, make a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
Know where the undo button is.
Yeah.
Command Z, baby.
Anyway, so I think we're good. Lauren and I are gonna do the news segment if you guys want to stay for that and give your tidbits about the news, but I saved it, I unswitched the order, so in case you had to go, like you didn't have to. This is all supposed to be cut, obviously, but do you guys want to plug yourself one more time before you leave and shit? I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, Lottie, go ahead. Tell the people where they can find you / throw money at you.
Oh yeah, throw all your money at me. So my YouTube channel is Laddi. You could just look up Laddi on YouTube, and there's a yellow fuzzball character, and that's me. Or you could just go to youtube.com/theladdi. I'm the Laddi on like I think every social media except for Twitch. It's that Laddi. I don't know. It's Laddi. But, yeah. I have a Patreon, but I'm not really gonna plug that too hard. So
It's there if you want it. What about you, Elle? Where can people find you on the internet?
I'm on YouTube. It's ELL_. No, I'm not. What? No, wait. Cut that out. What am I saying? I'm like, okay, it's not an underscore. It's just YouTube ELL_cartoons. L cartoons on YouTube. And if you want to go on the social medias, pretty much on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, I'm pretty much L cartoons on everything. It's on Instagram, it's ELL_cartoons. Same with Twitter. And that's it.
Yeah, that's cool. I always I imagine people pretend to be you guys, so that's why it's always good to like get the authentic version, I guess. So yeah, well, thanks you guys for coming to the podcast. I hope this was fun and informative, and everyone got to bond, which is always the important thing. So I guess just throw your audio at me when it's processed. Lottie, do you want to stay for the news, or do you have to go too?
Yeah, I have to go eat, and I also really have to pee. So thank you for having me, though.
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. I'm glad you guys had a good time, and hopefully we'll educate and we'll help the children's.
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday. We try to have all of the new audio up first thing in the morning across all streaming services. You got your any place you stream your podcast pretty much, and then on YouTube later on in the day. So yeah, stay tuned for the next episode and the next potential guests, or just us, whatever we decide. But we're thinking it'll be another guest pretty soon. So thank you for joining us today, guys, and we will see you next time. Abby Rohde out.
Thank you so much for listening to Animation Kimmunication on YouTube, Spotify, or your favorite podcast provider. We are really hoping this show makes a difference in how people view animation and media, as well as giving and providing advice for people all over the world who like or want to join the animation or media industry. If you liked what you heard, please remember to subscribe and rate those 5 stars, as well as tell your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our main YouTube channel, I Love Kim Possible a Lot, and turn those notifications on. My name is Scribbler.